and you close this, and they happen to pay your taxes, that's because you or someone's paying them. So we don't do that. Remember, we bought them as is. So we now got to learn what we bought. So we got to see all the taxes, liens, levies, judgments, or utilities that might be attached to the property. But that's now we know what we're looking at. We also need to go and visit every property. Now I have a rule. I never look at any of our properties. Ever, 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 ever. You know why? Because I don't care. You know why? Because I'm not going to live there. So I don't care. I got a house. I'm not going to go look at another one. I don't care what these properties look like. My goal is that I hope someone does want to live there. That's the goal, because we're going to sell those end users. But we do need to be prudent, and we need to look at our properties. So we have home inspection teams that travel around the country. They're going to visit each and every home that we buy. They're going to do a 21-point home inspection. They're going to tell you how many bedrooms and bathrooms and electrical and plumbing and all those different kind of things. They're going to take interior and exterior photos of the property. They're going to secure the property. They're going to place a lockbox on the property. They're going to place a for sale sign on the property. Now we've done this inspection, and now we're starting to get information based on facts of what we actually have. So we know what they look like, we know where they are, we know what condition they're in, we know what the title condition is, we know who the previous owners were, we know what the sales prices were. Now we start to know some information. We placed all of that information on myplace.us. So now all that data is there on MyPlace. Wow, those are great looking houses there. Normally, they look a little better than that, but and here's the goal with the sample list. It's to show you that some of them are duplexes, and some of them are blue, and some of them are white, and some of them are brick, and some of them are bigger, and some of them are littler. Here's the deal with sample houses, guys. You try to make it about the real estate. In our opinion, you're making it too complicated. Here's what I do know. It's a house. Somebody lived in it. They paid something for it. They didn't pay their mortgage. They went through foreclosure. The bank bought it back, and I bought it from the bank. I'm absolutely positive of those facts. Now, anything else? And I'm showing you this to show you there's no voodoo. There's no magic. They're all the same. They're just houses. They're in cities where people live, and people are going to want to live there again. Problem, if they get a great enough deal, right? So nothing special about it, just houses. And along that line, about being nothing special, here's the other part of this that we need to overcome right away so we can have a clear understanding. The value factor. You guys are going to look at and evaluate things a little differently than we evaluate things. And my job is to try to get you to see it our way instead of the way you've always seen it. For the purpose of this, for participating with our company. You might look at last purchase price, you might look at last mortgage amounts, you might do an appraisal, you might look at the multiple listing service, you might get a realtor to do a market analysis. All those things, in my opinion, are very, very, very dangerous right now, because there is no reality in the market anywhere. If you base it off all that factual or infactual data, if you base it off all that made-up data, those best guesses, if you will, from where they are. I say to all of that, really, that's really how you want to determine value. I got a better way, I think. It's a lot simpler. It's simple. I like simple. So we do it a little differently. Let me ask you this question. This is how we determine value. 100% of the time, don't have to worry about all that other stuff I just showed you. Don't have to do my analysis, don't have to get appraisers, don't have to look at all that. Condition, don't have to try to guess, don't try to see what the comps were, don't have to do any of that. Here's how you do it. What is something really worth? Anything. What is something always worth 100% of the time? Someone will pay you for it 100% of the time. Now remember, we want to sell houses to end users. People want to buy them. So here's what I need to know. How much will they pay me for it? Therefore, I know how much it's worth. Can we agree on that? Without all the stuff and mumbo jumbo and trying to figure it out and best guesses and all of that data and extrapolation and all that waste of time. Can we just simply say this? If a person will give you something for it, we can all agree it's exactly worth that amount. Right? Right? Okay. So if something's worth what someone will pay. Now don't forget to register. Alright. Usually there's really, really big rooms of people, so we spoke a few weeks ago to 300 people, so it's like, don't forget to register. Poor Lauren's getting, 50 kids go up. So we sometimes overdo it. We need to adjust for the size of the crowd. All right, how do end users, let's switch gears a little bit here. Now think like an end user. Now this is a person that's going to live in a house, going to buy a house from me or you or whoever owns it. Okay? They're going to have a couple different ways to do that. Number one is cash. They're going to, when they call in, they're going to want to pay cash for the property. So they're going to make a cash offer. Cash offers are great. We love them. We accept them. They work. And we like cash offers, right? Anybody like cash offers? Cash offers are pretty good, right? Okay. Now, the other way that seems to be, our best way is the rent-to-own contract exercised by a mortgage, which means they're going to rent it, they're going to put a little money down, they're going to pay rent, and then they're going to eventually purchase that property and buy it from you with cash. Okay, so it's a rent-to-own contract exercised by a mortgage. When those individuals call in on this rent-to-own option, remember we've got a for sale sign on the house, right? So people have drove through the neighborhood. That's all we do too. People drove through the neighborhood. They've looked at your house. They've seen that sign. They've looked in all the windows. They go back, sit in their car, and they call the number on the sign. And the phone rings in North Carolina. And the first question they ask is what? How much is it? That's what they want to know. Now listen, we just told you that how do we determine value? What they're willing to pay. Do we know how much they're going to pay when they call us? Nope. So we have no idea how much it costs, do we? You got it? That's right. No, we don't. So now we need to figure out how much the house costs because we have no idea. And the best way to do that is figure out how much they can afford to pay us. Would you agree? A little different. Okay? Works a lot better. Easier to sell, a lot quicker. Okay? So now we need to figure that out. So now we're going to say, do you currently rent or do you currently own? They usually say rent. And I saw this beautiful house, I'm wanting to know about it, how much it is. We say, how much do you currently pay for rent? They say $500 a month. We say, if we could sell you this house for $500 a month and you no longer have to rent, would you be willing to purchase it? They usually say yes. Yes. Remember, they called you. Okay. We say, if we can do that for you, how much money can you put down today? And they say, a truck. A truck. I heard that one. That's a truck. Their title, I'll take a truck and say it. Always be a good truck. So they say $1,000. So they say, okay, if we can give you $1,000 down, $500 a month, and would you buy that home from us today? They usually say, yes. All right. So we've eliminated the obstacles for them, and we've determined how much the house costs by determining how much they can afford to pay. You see it? We just did it backwards. I'm going to show you what that looks like in real numbers in a minute. Now here are what you're here to do and what you're here for. Every house we have is $21,900. Let me tell you what you get for that. As an investor buyer, you're buying in the process. Remember, we're selling to end users all the time. Whether you own it or I own it, we're selling to end users all the time. Only thing is when this group of people, and the people we talk around the world now, we open a door near the front and say, you can give us $21,900 and you want that home, and we are currently running that home through our process. So the same thing you're doing for me, it doesn't matter whether I own it or you own it. It's the same thing's going to happen. We're going to sell that to an end user. Does everybody see that? So you can buy them for $21,900. Here's what comes with it. The land trust. We recommend the LLC being the beneficial interest holder or some type of company. It's just another layer of protection. You've got the trust, you've got the privacy of the trust and the trustee, but if the beneficial interest holder is a company, you have another layer of protection. Here's my spiel on that. If you're going to be in the real estate business, have a dang business. You know what I mean? Act like it. Have a business. Don't be Joe Blows, whatever. Have an LLC. Now you don't have to if you've got limited investments or if these are in your IRAs. That's different because your IRA can do that with a self-directed IRA. But if you're really going to be in the real estate business, then you should really start a company. And you should really have expenses, and you should really file a tax return. You should do those things, and you can list that LLC as the beneficial interest holder, and you have gained yet another layer of protection against liability. Now, you get that land trust, you get the beneficial interest being held in a company